Hey guys, I'm gonna try my best to make this a quick video. So while I was at work today, sanding away on my piano soundboard after shimming the cracks, which is a very tedious and repetitive task, but at the same time it's one where you become so immersed in the simplicity of the task. Not that it takes quite a bit of skill, which I'm developing, but the repetitive nature of it allows you to just sort of slip out of this reality. You kind of surrender yourself to those moments, and the illusion of time disappears. You transcend this reality and you slip it to like another plane, and it's quite any time that you can allow yourself to succumb to this sort of thing, this force that acts upon. I highly recommend it, because in these moments of complete silence, your true self can speak to you, and the divine intelligence can speak to you. So anyway, while I was sanding away on my soundboard, which took me many hours, I was thinking of a topic came to me to talk about in this video, and that was concerning what our calling is in this life, what we are anointed to do, and the ways in which many of us wait around for like the clouds to part and that beam of light to come down and touch us in that aha moment. And I think that in general, this isn't really the most effective or viable route to take, because so much of life is putting yourself out there and showing up and setting your sights on a target and throwing yourself at it completely. And then once you do that, and once you align yourself with that aspect of consciousness that is all packaged up in what you consider to be that goal or that skill or whatever it may be, then the universe sort of opens up and yields to your desire and your persistence and the gall that you had, the imposition upon it, the risk that you're taking by putting yourself out there. So I think so many, myself included, we sit around and we wait around and we overanalyze, and then we become paralyzed, and we think without acting and this sort of thing. And all the while, all we had to do was set our sights on something, devote ourselves to it, impose our will upon that which we perceive to be our calling, or that which sparks our interest, or whatever it may be, and then persist at it and keep knocking on that door until the narrative collapses, until the barrier to entry that we perceive to be there dissolves into the nothingness that it really is, because it's just our flawed perception that leads us to believe that these things have prerequisites and all this sort of thing. There is a price to be paid. I'm not saying there isn't, but anybody can do anything. That's the point, is that you don't have to wait around for the clouds to part, for that light to place a halo above your head and that sort of thing, where the grandiosity of this dramatic epiphany is had by you. Sometimes that happens, and that is a blessing, but you can't wait around for that, because any action is better than no action, better than stagnation. And I was also thinking, so what I was what I was getting at there is that the very act of imposing yourself upon these aspects of reality unfolds them like a flower blossoming to you, yields them, lays them at your feet, and then you align yourself with that. You integrate with it, and it becomes your calling and your purpose. You don't have to wait to be called, so to speak, because we are all anointed to do something. And the point is that we are responsible for choosing that thing to a very large degree, and the anointing goes hand in hand with our voluntary assertion, confrontation of it, and imposition upon that aspect. So don't wait for something to happen. Just go out there and make it happen, and know that with your persistence, with your dedication, with your voluntary assertion of yourself upon this thing, that eventually the narrative will collapse and it will be laid out in front of you. Just make sure that you know what it entails, and to the best of your ability, you are willing to pay the price required for that which you are asking and wishing to extract from the collective, from the ether, from the divine mind, from consciousness itself. So, and then the other thing I was thinking about was that, oftentimes I was listening to an interview on Joe Rogan. Ryan Holiday is I guess his claim to fame is being a proponent of the Stoic philosophy, and he was talking about, and so he was talking about how when he was 19 years old, he was reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, which I'm reading and I highly recommend. And then he said, he had this moment where he was like, I want to bring this to the world. And so it takes a tremendous amount of courage, to a certain degree, a lot of naivete, and a almost childlike essence to you to go about these things, which are calling attention to yourself and thrusting yourself into the public eye to such a degree. A lot of stuff, both pleasant and pleasurable and painful, comes from that sort of thing when you are really in the center, when you're under that sort of scrutiny. But I'm not going to talk about that. What I wanted to talk about was that this is a book that has been around for thousands of years, I guess, and at least 2,000. And so many people have read it, and so many people have written on it. And we get into this. It's very easy to get to a place where we let the false consciousness or the imposter mentality rise up in us and say, who am I to have any, who am I to think that I could bring this to the public, that, I have anything to add to something that's been harped on for so long. And, we get into that mindset where we sort of remove ourselves from the running as a defense mechanism and as a way to forego the tremendous responsibility that comes with the imposition upon the status quo, the narrative, the common, the realm of the public, And the other thing is that this is a very misguided question that we ask ourselves, and a very misguided stance that we take, because the truth of the matter is, who is anybody? Everybody is anybody to do anything. That's the idea that came to me. Everybody is anybody to do anything. It's not, that person is not more or less than you, and vice versa, and all these sort of depraved thoughts and ideas that enter into our minds and that we allow to pass into our subconscious and then pollute our spirit. And all it takes is the desire, the persistence, the proper possession of adequate information, all of these ingredients that it takes, which seem to be tremendous barriers to entry, but really aren't, because when you have such a profound and potent interest, that is the most necessary ingredient, because that will get you through all of that stuff, and it will expedite the process for you. But who is he to say that? Who are we to say that? Everybody is anybody to do anything. Anybody can do anything. It takes a tremendous belief, and it takes the proper orientation of the mind, and then all narratives will collapse, because everything is a byproduct of the state of being, the level of consciousness, the where your mind is at, and the mind is the springboard for everything. So just know that anything that you want to do that you think you have no business doing, that you think you're not worthy, or that you're less than, or that you don't have the proper education, or that whatever excuses you can come up with just know that when it's in your mind and in your spirit, and when you wish to align yourself with it completely, that is the majority of what you need, and you can do it, and anybody can do anything. So, and even in the most what will be considered odd, or people think you're crazy, people think this, people think that, people have all these sorts of opinions that at the end of the day, they're neither here nor there. It's just white noise. And if there is something that you wish to do and that you wish to integrate with and devote yourself to, that may be perceived by the masses in that way, do it all the more, and just go for it, within reason, obviously. Nothing that's going to be harmful or in any way to yourself or anybody. But I know I don't have to state the obvious, but sometimes you do. So just know that, I'll repeat it again, everybody is anybody to do anything, and that's the truth. So keep that in mind, and don't wait around for your aha moments, for the clouds to part, for the sea to part, for all of these grandiose occurrences to align. Just go out there and do it. And that's what I want to say. So feel free to leave your comments, your suggestions, your advice, anything that you might want my perspective on, anything you might need advice on. If I could lend some words there, I'd be happy to. Check out my other videos on this channel. If you could like this video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, I highly appreciate that. Check out my other channel, Ray Rivera, where I haven't been active in a while, but I've done art and music, and I'll at some point get back to that. And keep in mind that the suffering, the trials, and the tribulations that you go through in this life are absolutely necessary to strengthen you, to fortify you, to temper you, and to allow you to manifest your ultimate self, to allow you to push back against the necessary adversaries in order to facilitate God's ultimate purpose for you, and to be strong in the mind, the body, the spirit, and the emotion. And it's not about you. That's why my channel is named what it's named. It's about how you are to rise up so that you can lift others up and have a profoundly positive impact on others and upon the collective. And that is the ultimate service that one can do. So keep that in mind as well. And thanks for watching.